It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Tonight, let us make them remember we are not afraid!
Good morning, good morning, good morning. We're going to Yemen today. Yep, Yemen. There is a father and daughter team. She's an attorney in New York City. We just had him on. He's in Yemen. We're trying to get hold of him again. They wanted us to go to a different number, and Sierra's trying to hook him up. But this is an interesting story. I have not paid attention to a lot of this because we're busy with other stuff, but we need to keep track of what's going on this Arab Spring thing, and it is an infection that is getting ready to go to Europe. And it's going to go from Europe, it's coming to the United States. The way it has been depicted in a lot of the stories on Freedom's Phoenix is we got Arab Spring, European summer, American winter. And here we go. we need to see what's happening here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to have the father on. The daughter, she's willing to come on, but she thought her father would be a better representation of what's going on. But she's the one that wrote the article that appeared in Jadaliya.com. It's Arabic and English publication, and I want to just read the first couple of paragraphs here, and you'll kind of get an idea of what's going on. Now, they refer to a GCC. Now, that's a Gulf Committee, whatever the heck it is. Here, let me look this up. I had it. There's a Cooperation Council of the Arab States of the Gulf, and they call it the Gulf Cooperation Council, the GCC. And that's how they reference this. And what it is some of the leaders around there that are kind of, how can we keep peace? We'll tell you what we want you to do. Now, these leaders in these various countries are like, and I give a crap who you are because of what? They even have representatives from the United Nations, from European Union and the United States. And for them to go and sit in on some kind of a meeting and say, okay, here we got a document for you to sign to give up power. And it's like, let's see, I sign this document, I give up power, I don't sign it, I don't. Well, guess which one I'm going to do? And he would send troops to go and just kill people, go to their homes, have mobs that would surround embassies. And so this is going on in Yemen right not later. So I'm going to, this is dated June 2nd. So this is in the middle of last week. And it's going to be, here, let me get this mic thing. 1, 2, there we go. This is going to be just a perspective of someone that's there, that is an American, that lives in New York City, is an attorney, has family there, and give you an idea of what's going on. So here we go. How much time I got? Okay. I am sitting in the dark, having enjoyed a remarkable 6 consecutive hours of electricity today in our house near the Square of Fear, a roundabout in an affluent neighborhood of Sanas that sits between the houses of General Ali Mohsen and Hamid Ammar. The sounds of mortars, missiles, and gunfire echo from across the city in Al-Hasaba, where Al Jazeera will tell me tomorrow morning that 41 people were killed overnight. If we were to believe Yemen State Television and the Deputy Minister of Information, electricity outages and shortages of water, cooking gas, gasoline, and diesel are to be blamed on Yemen's opposition coalition of parties, the Joint Meeting of Parties, JPMP, who apparently has cut these services. It seems like the regime is at a point where it cannot be fussed to produce some remotely plausible act to attribute to the JMP, which has no control over any of these services, just as the regime could not bother to dress in plain clothes the soldiers who decimated Freedom Square and Taz, killing at least 57 protesters, went door to door arresting activist leaders who survived the massacre and are rumored to continue roaming the streets of Taz in death squads. The regime's attempts to disclaim responsibility for violence are becoming increasingly perfunctory. Now, to go on, I give you details of how they have created some kind of an agreement for him to sign. And he tried to, we're familiar with it in the West here from the movie Braveheart. Longshanks lured the nobles of the other guys into a tent. We're going to sign a peace treaty and do it, and then he killed them all. And they were afraid that that's exactly what was going to happen, and it looks like that's what he had planned. Because right when he gets to where he's going to sign, he didn't sign it. Then he starts with bulldozers and tanks going and killing the protesters. So this is not going to stop, and it's going to get worse, and it's already infected the entire Middle East, and it's going to Europe and here, and it all has to do with starvation. Inflation goes up. The monetary system, the corrupt leaders or corrupt politics aren't working. The people aren't represented, and they go hungry. And when you're hungry, inflation hits, food prices skyrocket, and you have no economic future. Guess what happens? You get violent. Let me go ahead and introduce you to Abdulaghani Aliryani. Abdul, help me with your name, would you please?
It's Abdulaghani Aliryani.
Thank you very much. And I'll just go ahead and call you Abdul if you don't mind. Go ahead and maybe we'll try and get a better connection in the next segment here. But let's go ahead and take a moment to tell us where we're at right now. Who is claiming responsibility or recognized by other countries or whatever as being in charge of Yemen, and who wants that person not to be in charge of Yemen, and who is it that is making these claims and demands? Is it the people? Is there a coalition of people? Or are the other countries in the region saying this Gulf Cooperation Council? I have no idea what that is. So let's go ahead and start with the Gulf Cooperation Council, who they are and what they're requesting of the leadership of Yemen.
The Gulf Cooperation Council, GCC, has presented an initiative for peaceful transfer of power, now referred to as the GCC initiative, that stipulated that Saleh resigns after 30 days and hand over power to his VP, and then we have 2 months to organize early presidential elections, and that would be the end of the transfer of power.
Okay, now the transfer. Now, Abdul, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have the producer go ahead and call you back because it's a very bad connection. I know we're all the way into Yemen, but let's go ahead and have her call you back and see if we can get a better connection. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead and try him back, Sierra, and I'll go ahead and get the people up to speed on what's going on, and we'll go ahead and hopefully we get a better connection coming back with Abdul, because this is something that is of great importance because it is the beginning of something much larger. And it's already started. It's going worldwide. This revolution, you want one world government, guess what you get? You get one world revolution. That's just, here we go. And they'll keep putting daisies and gun barrels right up until they start blowing the daisies out and shooting peaceful protesters in the head. And it's going to happen everywhere for the same exact reasons. What's interesting is in his daughter's story, firsthand, it gets down to where they finally have the central forces, his central security forces, are kind of, and these mobs and so on are surrounding the parliament, and they're surrounding where all the foreign dignitaries were meeting and everything, the United States and the European Union and the ambassadors of the GCC. And then they send in a helicopter to get them and take them to where the president was to do the signing. And then there was a nice little show that was put on. Yep. I will drill down on this in Yemen because it's going to be repeated. One country after another sweep Europe, and it's coming to the U.S. Don't think so? Why? What do you know that we don't? We'll be right back.